Do you feel as if you're being pulled into portals of alternate realities not of your own making? What are portals and where do they come from? Join Jeff as he lectures on what can be causing alternate realities that systems and or beings are drawing us into. He will identify and close these portals so you can be in your most appropriate time and space. So without further delay, thank you, Jeffrey.
We are multidimensional beings. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And we let our belief system, our fear, our angst get in the way of remembering who we are, being a spiritual being, having a human experience. It's really, really easy to get caught up in the day-to-day goings on of this world and forget who we are. Since we are in a spiritual war, your connection to the divine is your greatest weapon. Your connection to the divine is your greatest weapon. And you say, oh, are we in a spiritual war? And I refer you back to the Hermetic principle of correspondence. As above, so below. As above, so below. As below, so above. All right. That's why I read that, because we are in a spiritual war. Here is the creator, God, heaven, whatever. This is the sugar cube size that I was referring to. This is a little black dot of energy, and constantly coming out of that space or out of that little hole is the energy that expands our universe. That gives you an idea of how much energy we're talking about, how potent this is, how powerful this energy is. That is the keys to the kingdom. Okay. And then again, this is just a copy of what I showed you before to show you that we're over here. You may think we're insignificant, but we're not. And then your field. Now, I've got this kind of marked up a little bit. And what I'm demonstrating here is we are encapsulated in a matrix called Earth. That's what this black line is. We are encapsulated in a matrix called Earth. And we are subject to the rules of that matrix. Gravity works. You have to take in food to keep the body going. Disease can, manifest here. It's not one of the original rules, but that's one of the rules that's operating right now. This was once a place of love and light, but it has been moved to a place of lack and struggle. And all the people like yourselves, the soul warriors that are on this planet right now, have come back to help this world move back to one of love and light, to leave the world of lack and struggle. How do you do that? Well, I'm going to refer you back to this piece. Information is light. Light is information. The more you become informed, the more you alter your frequency. You are electromagnetic creatures, and everything that you are, you broadcast to everyone else. So when you sit in these classes and hear me yammer week in and week out, week in and week out, and then we do a clearing in order to make the teaching available to your field, in order to make this teaching part of your structure. That's what these clearings are designed for, is to make these teachings part of who you are. You become light, and light is information. And then you'll feel it physically. You'll feel differently. You'll feel a different effect in the world. You'll have different impact in the world. You'll begin to see reality in different terms. So that's what the Soul Warrior is about. That's what the Soul Warrior Network is about. So we live in this matrix. And right now, because it is one of lack and struggle, this is a false matrix. And the core of this matrix is the driving principle of this matrix that we all exist in right now, is to disconnect you from the creator of all that is. from God, from heaven, from counter space, whatever, again, whatever you want to call it. Do not get hung up on the name. Existing on this earth in a false matrix that is designed to disconnect us from Creator. Now, how do they do that? Well, they do it through crappy GMO food. They do it through polluted water. And we've gone over this before many times. There's no surprises here. They do it through fluoride in the water, chemicals in the water. They do it through shock, panic, and trauma. They do it through political theater, identity politics. Anything and everything you can imagine is being thrown at us at this time to take us off our game and to take us out of the arena and to stop us from playing on the field. And I often tell a story when I do one-on-one sessions with clients, is what I call the great kickball game. So when we're here and we're deciding to come back to earth, we're deciding how we're going to manifest as an individuation of consciousness, which is why I read this, okay? When we're deciding we're going to manifest as an individuation of consciousness back on the earth, we choose a side, right? And we've chosen a side. We've already chosen a side. And we come down here to play a game. So I don't want you to be afraid of anything I'm telling you tonight. There is no fear. Do you think that 0 point energy, God, creator, whatever, has any fear? It's pouring the energy of the universe out of the middle of its existence to create a bigger universe. You think this has any fear? Well, you come from this. You are part of that from which you came. And it's like Wayne Dyer said many times, you know, I have a cherry pie and I'm sitting here at the table and I cut a slice of this cherry pie. I scoop it out, I put it on a plate, and I scoot the plate over to you. What do you have? Well, you don't have apple pie, you don't have rhubarb pie, you don't have a pecan pie, you don't have cake, you have cherry pie. You have a piece of that from which it came. This is you. But you're in a false matrix right now. And there are a lot of things that get in the way. Like I've said already, all the various physical things. And there are additional things that get in the way. Like last week, we talked about being stuck in a personal universe. That's a very sophisticated technique of dismantling humanity. A very sophisticated technique. So instead of moving into your consciousness and owning who you are and owning who you came here to be and doing what you came here to do, you get stuck in a personal universe and you never get to work on this matrix and changing this matrix. Tonight, what we're talking about is these little balls. These are portals. These are portals, interdimensional portals, and they can be opened at many, many different levels, in many, many different ways, doing many, many different things. And when these portals get opened in a field, it can drain your life force. It can take things out. It can put things in. So what it can take out is your life force, your AKA substance, your orgone energy, all the stuff you need to function optimally. What it can put in is sheer terror and fear and angst and just evil, right? So when you see somebody walking around and they're just a mess, I guarantee you they've got these portals going on in their field. Okay, let's go down here and talk about who we are, more of our structure. So we've heard about atomic theory, atomic physics. We've heard of quantum physics. Very few people ever talk about ether. Ether is what this is made from. This is ether. And you take a block of ether, and then out of that comes the quantum, and out of the quantum comes the atomic level. Out of the atomic level comes the physical reality, your physical body. It's made up of atoms. Okay. And out of the physical reality, we also carry around with us tons of bacteria and viruses, which we talked about 2 sessions ago when we talked about the gut biome and the alien intelligence that was in the gut biome. That's one way to take us out. So they can put stuff here. They can put stuff here, which is GMO food and all this other stuff. And they can put stuff here in the atomic and the quantum realm, which is what these portals are. So if you've noticed, we're working our way through this list.